Welcome to Unit 7 of 3rd grade math. This measurement and polygons unit is a very big unit and requires a lot of note taking. So make sure you have this note sheet in front of you and have a notebook ready to add to some of these notes. Here we go. The first topic is some review information. The first thing is a point. Points are usually identified with a letter also. A point is identified just by a dot somewhere in space. A line continues on in both directions forever. Usually you're going to find 2 points that fall within this line, and those will be identified by letters also. The next one is a ray. A ray has a starting point, and it goes on forever through a second point. And the last one is a line segment. A line segment has a starting point and it has an ending point. To name these objects, these items, is pretty simple. We usually go alphabetical order. So this is line BC. So we write BC, and then we just put that symbol of a line above it with those arrows drawn on. For ray, we do the starting point and then the ending point, and then we draw the ray above it, making sure the arrow goes in the direction that it would go on forever. And for a line segment, we draw the letters, and then we just draw a straight line, no arrows, because that one does have that start point and end point. The next topic is going to be parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines are two lines that never cross. Now, these don't have to be lines that look like the example here. It could also be like a shape of a square. A square has two pairs of parallel lines, the top and the bottom, and the left and the right. A good way to remember parallel is in the word parallel, the two L's are parallel lines. And that one's usually the pretty easy one that most people already know. Perpendicular lines are ones that cross at 90 degrees. Usually they're identified with a box on it. That box represents 90 degrees. Now again, it could have two lines that are crossing completely, or it could be a shape like a square that has 4 perpendicular lines in each of the corners. The next topic is not on the note sheet, so this would be one you'd want to take notes on, is types of angles. The top 3 are probably ones you've heard before. The bottom 3 might be new, so make sure you get these written down so you have a point of reference. The first one is an acute angle. I always like to say, this is such a cute little angle. This one's going to be less than 90 degrees. And I like to say it in that little voice. Oh, such a cute little angle. Like such a cute little bunny. Such a cute little baby. Little things usually are said in that cute little voice. The next one is a right angle. And again, it's usually identified by that box. That box right there says that it is exactly 90 degrees. The next one is obtuse. I like to say this in my big voice, obtuse, kind of like a tuba sound. And tubas are a big instrument. This one is going to be greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. The next angle is called a straight angle. A straight angle has a start point and 180 degrees later has an end point. So this is 180 degrees, which makes up half a circle. And you could see in that angle measurement, that's a half a circle. The next one's called a reflex angle. You're not going to do this one too often or use this one too often, but it's any angle that's measuring greater than 180 but less than 360. So we'll just write that in, greater than 180. And the last one is a full rotation angle. That one, as you can see, creates that full circle. That one is 360 degrees. Now would be a good time to pause the video and make sure that you have the notes written down of these different types of angles. Resume when you're ready. All right, this next one is also not on your note sheet and would be a good one to take a piece of your notebook paper, divide it straight across the middle, and then into thirds up and down the page. The top, label it angles. The bottom half, label it sides. Triangles have two names. They have a first name and a last name, and this is how we can categorize or group our triangles. The first ones are by angles. Now, all triangles are half of a quadrilateral, so all of their angles equals 180 degrees, which is half of a circle. So if our first one angle in this is a right angle, 90 degrees, and we take that 90 degrees and subtract it from the 180, we're left with 90 degrees remaining for the remaining two angles. So both of those angles have to be acute. Since this angle has something other than acute, it is what that is called. The next one has this big angle in it, obtuse, which makes the other two acute because, again, if it's bigger than 90, let's say 100 degrees, we take that away from the 180, we're left with 80 degrees to split between the remaining two. Now, if you're unsure if this is an if